Now this was the part of the process that I never cared for that much, was doing the handles and all that stuff, the finishing process of making these tools, but I'm finding now I'm really starting to enjoy it. I don't know what the big change is, but I just like it. It's kind of relaxing and it looks nice when you're done with it. I find I really like this handle design. This was on the last one that we finished. Ergonomically, that's just a nice design, so I think I'm going to keep that. I'm going to copy it onto this piece because this is going soon. But I think for the smaller guy, I'm wondering if these would be kind of nice, this design here. This was a handle that I messed up. I split it on accident. I think that's kind of perfect. It's a little bit of a shorter handle. Still gives you enough room. You get a little something there to catch your hand. I think we're going to go with that for sure. So we've got to cut some steel pipe, polish it up for the collets. I'm going to kind of copy this onto this piece. And I'm hoping that we keep, there's a little bit of sapwood on this walnut. I'm kind of hoping that we keep that incorporated into the handle. We may not, just the way it runs, because we're going to end up turning quite a bit of this down. It's almost a waste of material, but I guess not really. Yeah, we're not wasting that much until you get down into the meat of the handle. But like I said, I kind of like this. I think that's kind of a perfect design for this smaller knife. So let's see what happens. All right, we'll get a sharp corner to start with. Now this blank is quite a bit longer than I need, but that's okay. This is just off of a piece that I cut out of a walnut plank that I have. And we're just kind of transfer these marks. It's going to be nice when I have the old metal lathe finished up. Because what I'll end up doing with that is I'm going to make cutting tools for doing these handles. I figured that would make things a lot easier. So we've got our two handles turned out on the lathe. I'm not the best at making exact duplicates yet. I'm getting better at it, but it takes some practice. But what we need to do now is we have to make the collets that go here, and it's real easy, and I kind of cheat. You know, some people will forge them out. I'm so lazy that it's disgusting, so I'm going to do it the lazy man way. So these are pretty darn easy, and to make it even easier for myself, try to get some of the paint off. This stuff is kind of gummy when you go to sand it, but I just like to get as much off as I can to save my belts and stuff. I mean, I'm not going to get it all, but we'll get a good amount of it. A set of black iron cutters here. Yeah, man, quit moving around. There we go. It's about the easiest way I know if I can do this. So the next stop is the die grinder, which I picked up a little 12-volt Milwaukee, and it has been beautiful. I don't want to clamp that in so much that I oval it, but if I don't clamp it in tight enough, it moves all over. Before we go to finish grind these, we want to check, make sure these fit. Kind of a nice tight fit, that's what I want. Beautiful. This Scotch-Brite wheel is one of the best things in my shop for making all this work easier. So all we're going to do is we're going to polish this up to a nice mirror shine on this thing here, after I plug the damn thing in. I like a good oil stone. I like water stones, but the oil stones just seem to hold up a lot longer. They're not as soft. Now they can be a little bit messier, but honestly, everything's messy, whether it's water or oil, when you're doing this stuff. So I just get my oil on it and I kind of try to let it start soaking in. Let it soak in as long as it will. And what we're looking to do, I just want to true up the back of this Drawknife. I want it nice and flat. And you can see with your marks where it's going to be flat and where it's not. It goes pretty quick once you get going with it, but basically wherever it's going to be exposed by my handles, I just want it really nice and flat. Now we've done a bunch of stonework on the back. We start with the coarse dressing belt on here. This is pretty much a Scotch-Brite belt. And what I'm going to do is kind of just start polishing things up, polish this bevel up, clean up where the handles are. I'm not going to hit this section up here. I kind of want to leave those forge marks in there and the touch marks, so let's see what we get. So we keep moving down the grits. We're going to go from the coarse to the medium. Let's see if we can do this without screwing it up. Alright, let's see how she goes. I always have to get one off center every frickin' time. After all that work, we want to see how it draws. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. So I'm doing this test in really dry white ash. And dry white ash is not the easiest of materials to run a draw knife on. Now this knife, I'm not really designing it to remove huge pieces of material. We're looking at it for fine work. You know, it's got a short cutting edge on it. It's nice for working the corners of stuff. And the big thing I'm checking here is that edge geometry. As I come through, I want these shavings to kind of pop off. So we have a little bit of a convex edge on this thing meeting a slightly concave edge. So right along the very edge of the bevel here, it's convex, but when you come up here, it gets a little more concave. And that seems to allow this thing to get under the shavings, pop it up with that convex edge, but not dig in too deep with that concave. And that's the thing. If you're using these bevel down, they like to dig in. A little stubborn grain right there. But we're also testing a lot of impact and force on these handles as you go. And we want to make sure that the job we did fitting these handles is gonna maintain. Now this is the smallest draw knife I've ever made. But to be quite honest with you, I really like it. Let's see how it works bevel down. Not bad. So I'm almost scraping with it. The way I'm holding it. And that's another good way to test our heat treat on the handles and the edge. And she's still razor sharp. I like that. I'd call this guy good. Well, another video in the books, everybody. So that's our small draw knife. Now I figured that'll be really nice for peg making, doing whatever you do with a small draw knife. So it'd be nice for fine work, things like that. Now, before I even finished filming this video, I took it up after it was finished, and I figured I have no plans to sell the first of everything I make, of anything I make. For one is I want to make sure my process is good. I want to make sure I'm putting out quality. So somebody's going to get that first tool so they can test it out. And today the lucky guy happened to be my father-in-law. He saw it and he goes, "Oh, I like that." And I said, "Well, you know, he's like a little kid at Christmas, and he likes making axe handles and bow making and everything else that we're into, so he's going to give it a run for its money." Now, like I said before, the second draw knife I ever made, you guys saw me use that a lot on the channel here over the years. I've never had to put another edge on that, believe it or not. I ended up giving that one to a kid doing some log work up on a job I was at up in the Adirondacks here this spring. And that was kind of fun, teaching the carpenters how to scribe logs. the HVAC guy teaching the carpenters how to scribe logs. But there was one kid up there, man, he picked it up. The first time I showed him, he had it down. It was cool to watch. I love seeing a young man like that just get into something and really master it quickly. But anyway, we're going to keep going. I'm working on a web store right now through the website for the channel. I'm learning everything, but what we're trying to do is build up an inventory, and I just kind of want to make sure that we're good to go and I have enough stuff to put on there to make it worth somebody's while. Now, there's quite a few tools that are not going to end up on the website simply because they are promised to viewers who want to buy them. The first one's going out to Dan. I cannot wait to send it out to him. He's getting into a timber frame project, and I would love to have one of my tools in his hands as he does that. He's a longtime viewer of the channel. So anyway, I found another use for even more of the scrap coming off of the Drawknife. If you can see that, I'll give you the shot once more. Now, I'm not a knife maker. I am a terrible knife maker, probably because I haven't done it a lot, haven't attempted it a lot, but this is the first time. I think this is maybe the third knife I've made, and you guys, I believe, saw the first one on the channel. It was horrendous. It was terrible. It was so damn thick, it might as well have been an axe. It just was not a good job. But, like I told you before, you guys get to watch me learn this stuff all the time. You guys are watching me pick up as I go. Now, that's not as pretty as everything you see on the interwebs all the time, but you know what? I'm super happy with it because I made it. It's a huge improvement over anything else I've done. I've never tried hidden tang. I never tried a metal bolster, tried to match that up. I don't know if you guys can see that okay, but I'm really happy with that. And they're just going to get better. They're just going to go up. So the reason I made this and where the scrap came from, I decided to go completely out of character and buy metal. I know you're not used to hearing that, but I bought 3 sticks of this, and they're 3 feet long, but each stick will give me 3 of the small draw knives, no issues, and I have about 6 inches of material left over that I could make an even smaller draw knife with, but it's not enough material. So I figure I don't like to waste anything, so I had some thoughts what I could do with that other piece. Now this is 3/16 thick. It'd make good cutting edges and say an axe with a mild steel body, or, you know, hunting season's coming up and I wanted a nice skinning knife. I wanted something I could take to the woods, and when I get an animal or the boy gets one or whatever, I'd have a nice little skinning knife. I like the short, fat, razor sharp knives for skinning. I figured, well, heck, that'd be nice if every bar of steel I have, if I have that left over, I'll just make a skinning knife and I'll throw it up on the website as well. And hopefully as we progress, we just get better and better at it, which would be really cool. Now, anyway, enough of my yakking at you. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on the next one.